Namaste, DDs. My name is Sherry Sutton, and I am your business growth guide. Artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, is taking over and radically changing the world of small business marketing, really all marketing, and a lot of other things as well. So I'm going to do a 4-part series where we talk about AI, ChatGPT, talk a little bit about how it's going to change how you do your marketing for your small business. This is a part of a large series of content that I'll be creating about this topic. But this 4-part series, we're going to talk about 4 different things. The first thing we're going to talk about is there's going to be a huge flood of content. We're going to talk about how to handle that. The second is competition. The third thing we're going to talk about is the fact that our gross sales are going to get grosser. And the fourth thing we're going to talk about is the revolution of in-person meetings. So today, this is part 1, and we're going to talk about content explosion. Get ready for it. Promise you, we are going to start seeing a level and a volume of content that we have never seen before in our history. It is now easier than ever for anyone, any small business, big, small, anybody really, to create really good content for their marketing. This is great news for folks who really struggle in this area. Fantastic, fantastic news. But the downside of that is we're going to start seeing a lot of content, which means that we are going to become a much smaller piece of a much larger pie. So being seen and heard in that kind of environment with so much content coming out is going to become a real challenge. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight on the things that I think are going to be important as we enter this world of exploding content, new content everywhere. The first thing that I think is going to be incredibly important is personal branding. So having a personal touch. One of the things that, again, AI is giving us a chance to create really good copy, to create great videos, but they aren't quite as personal as they could be. I mean, we're moving towards, I've done a lot of research on the different apps that have different avatars. So you do have a human talking to you or a human-like thing talking to you, but it's not you. And I think there's something very unique about our individual energy signature that we bring, whether it's through photography or whether it's through video, making sure that we stay very close to our own content and have ourselves, our faces, be involved in our content is going to become more and more important. I was watching something yesterday, and there's an app that you can use where you just upload a piece of copy, right, that you could have created in ChatGPT. You could create the copy in ChatGPT. You could upload it into this app, and it will instantly create a really great video with voiceover. You could even have an avatar talking about whatever that topic might be. As those things start coming out and as small businesses keep generating those types of videos very, very quickly, we're going to start being able to notice when it's a real person and when it's not. Now, I think the technology is going to get a lot better where people are going to be able to replicate themselves. And then that's a game changer. That's going to be a different conversation for a different day. But right now, I think there's still something very strong about having our own energy signature in that. Again, whether that's on video or through photography, but keeping our own personal brand really tightly integrated is still going to be a huge competitive differentiator, especially as we start to see a lot of content that's coming out that is a little bit more depersonalized, right? Is generated by AI. Again, I think this is going to change over time, but for now, I think that's incredibly important. The other thing that you want to make sure you're doing is that you really, really, really understand your target audience, what makes them tick, where are they now, where do they want to be? What problem do you solve? Because even though you can tell ChatGPT, like, hey, write me a piece about, 3 ways to get, like to get a 6 pack abs, right? Let's say you're a trainer or something. It's not going to really understand your audience from where you are. So ChatGPT can be a great place to create some content, but you're still going to have to tailor it to really understand your audience. Speak to your audience from where they're coming from their language. We're going to be able to teach the AI engines, our content engines, to do this better and better for us. But for now, that's something that's still a little lacking. So you're going to be able to stay really competitive if you're not kind of pumping out very generic types of content, which is what you can get right now from AI, but are really talking to your audience again about where they are now and where they want to be. So a huge flood of content is on its way. You're going to want to be on that wave or else you're going to get lost. But as you're doing it, you want to make sure a couple things. One is that you're really honing in on the key messages that are most important to your audience, because they're going to start seeing lots of messages from lots of different people. So niching down, really understanding exactly what they need and exactly how you solve their problem is going to become more and more important. So really honing in on your messaging is going to be key. The other side is making sure that there's still some humanity in your brand. And I know that may be coming across as a little negative, but I think there's something to be said for having you as a person in your brand, right? Because I strongly believe that people buy from people. And this may change over time, but I would say the majority of people still want to buy from people. And we're going to talk about this again in part 4 of this, where I really believe this is going to create a revolution of in-person sales, in-person meetings. But we'll talk about that more later. So keep yourself in your brand, whatever that looks like. Brand photography, you're the face of your reels. You're the one who's doing trainings like this. Use these AI tools as a way to make your business even better, but it can't replace really understanding your audience and you being the face of your brand. If you have any questions, give me a holler. This is going to be an evolving piece of small business marketing, and I am here to help you. Give me a holler. You can head over to my website. It's didi.marketing, DIDI.marketing, and set up a free consult or a free marketing audit anytime.